lush wetlands and watersheds, natural habitats, productive farmland, forested areas and scenic landscapes. Future generations depend on the thoughtful preservation of these natural resources. You can voice your genuine concern for the protection of your land and the environment through the donation of a conservation easement. Your contribution of a conservation easement preserves your land now and in the future. You may benefit economically as well. A conservation easement is defined as a perpetual legal agreement between a landowner and a land trust that permanently limits a property's use and restricts development in order to protect conservation values. Conservation easements help thousands of landowners to protect millions of acres of undeveloped land nationwide. Let's look at how you can help. You can permanently protect the conservation value of your land by placing your property under conservation easement.
If you care about your land, if you care about the way that you live, it's the way you can protect that forever. It's a gift to yourself, it's a gift to your family, and it's a gift to your community.
With a conservation easement, you maintain ownership. You live on your land and continue to enjoy all benefits associated with ownership within the restrictions of the easement document. The land may be sold or passed on to your heirs.
One of the things that's nice about a conservation easement is that this land will be here for future generations. My grandchildren have enjoyed the land. Other people 50 years from now will be able to enjoy this land.
Your land stays with your family. You may also set aside land for your children to use for building future homes. An easement may sound complex, but it's very simple. Your easement guarantees that future generations enjoy the scenic and natural qualities of your land.
Now, the easement process itself was very simple. It involved a couple of meetings with the staff people to answer questions and to make sure that they understood our concerns about the easement document itself and the conditions that were included in it.
Maryland local land trusts emphasize donations of easements. Volunteer citizens often run these nonprofit organizations, working with you, answering all of your questions about the meaning of the agreement.
Conservation easement is a legal agreement between a landowner and a land trust about what can and cannot happen on the landowner's land. It defines the uses that are permissible, those things which are restricted, and it is a legal agreement written in a legal document which is permanent and recorded in the land records of the county.
Maryland's large and growing population makes it necessary to protect our natural assets. Uncontrolled development results in loss of many natural resources and contributes to air pollution, surface water runoff, soil erosion, and water pollution. Your easement preserves your land forever and keeps your property free from development. You can be assured your land will not be open to the public. Public access is not required. The donation of conservation easements or land results in numerous environmental benefits. It's much more than saving the environment. It's a way of life. Forested areas, wetlands and watersheds, farmland and scenic areas, all the unique characteristics of our communities can be preserved. In Maryland, we face the issue of tremendous forest loss and fragmentation. We also realize that a growing population and our Maryland wildlife require forests and wooded areas. Houses, roads, parking lots, and shopping centers are replacing forests. Landowners are taking action.
One of the largest concerns I had was that the land would be developed. Although it's closely wooded all around here, there are houses right down the lane, so to speak. And I just wanted to see this piece of land protected forever.
Forests must be preserved for environmental reasons. Loss of forests threaten animal habitats and migratory birds. Cutting down forests may lead to water pollution and runoff, altering streams and habitats, and degrading Maryland's waters and the Chesapeake Bay. Forests also serve as natural filters of nutrients and sediments from farm operations and urban land uses. During storm events, they protect streams, rivers, and the bay by slowing and absorbing stormwater. Join easement donors in the goal of conserving trees and vegetation and restoring forested areas along streams. As riparian forest buffers are protected along streams, forested corridors that connect large tracts of woodlands are also saved. Undeveloped forested land is a great value. Your donation to a land trust plays a tremendous role in forest conservation. Our water resources in Maryland are extremely valuable. Unmanaged land development poses threats to our waterways and the Chesapeake Bay. Conservation easements work to improve and maintain our water resources, protecting land to protect water. Clean water supports fish and wildlife, provides seafood, sustains tourism and recreation, and makes a vital contribution to the economy. Wetlands provide many vital functions. They improve water quality by removing chemicals and excess nutrients, recycling nutrients, and removing sediment. They also serve as habitat for fish, shellfish, waterfowl, and other wildlife, and provide opportunities for recreation, scientific study, and aesthetic enjoyment. Watersheds are land areas that drain into streams, rivers, and the bay.
Watersheds are important in relation to future generations so that people can see how we have interacted with our environment in the past. It's important to preserve watershed areas in Maryland for biodiversity, for nutrient cycling and filtering, and for open space.
A conservation easement protects your farm forever. Using conservation easements, as well as agricultural easements purchased by Maryland's Farmland Preservation Program, we can retain our best agricultural soils and farming communities for the future.
Conservation easements mean to the families that their land that has been in their families, sometimes for many generations, it means that it will always be open and available for farming or wildlife habitat or sometimes wildlife corridors forever.
Hundreds of farms were consumed by sprawl development in the past decade. With neighboring farms being transformed into cookie-cutter subdivisions, landowners are taking initiative and donating conservation easements to land trusts.
The Jorgensen family gifted the easement to the Environmental Land Trust in 1997 with the principal interest in protecting the land from development for perpetuity.
I would recommend a conservation easement to anyone that has a farm that wants to be sure that it stays a farm. I mean, it's about the only way possible.
As a property owner, you can benefit from several potential tax advantages when you donate a conservation easement.
My husband Ross and I donated a conservation easement to the Magothy River Land Trust in 1996, primarily for tax reasons. We wanted to avoid some of the costly taxes, property taxes that we faced every year.
A conservation easement restricts the development of property in perpetuity. Typically, your donation of an easement reduces the property's market value, which can be beneficial for tax purposes. Tax benefits that may be available to you and your families include income tax deduction, both state and federal. A gift of a permanent conservation easement constitutes a charitable gift for public purposes, and the appraised value of the easement may be deducted from your state and federal income tax. Estate tax reduction. Land in your estate that is subject to a permanent conservation easement will usually have a lower value than it would if there were no easement. This can mean a lower taxable estate and lower federal estate taxes and state inheritance taxes.
Conservation easements are a terrific part of many estate plans when you're dealing with land. It helps get the land from one generation to the next and avoid the tremendous estate taxes that often force heirs to have to sell property for development.
Property tax credit. Under Maryland law, land under an easement with Maryland Environmental Trust receives a 100% credit against all property taxes on unimproved easement land for the first 15 years of the easement. A special county credit may also be available. The donation or sale of an easement makes it possible to combine environmental protection with potential tax benefits. All of this happens while you reserve all rights of ownership, occupancy, and privacy within the restrictions of the easement. Your land is preserved in its natural state in perpetuity, remaining forever undeveloped. The conservation easement protects the land's conservation values and meets the financial and personal needs of the landowner.
The terms are quite flexible, and the landowner and the land trust can decide together what future uses of this land they would like to see permitted and which ones should be restricted.
Best of all, you control the use and appearance of your land and can preserve its beauty far into the future. Your land is special.
The only reliable way right now with the legal system that exists to permanently preserve land is to donate a conservation easement to a qualified organization whose sole purpose is to preserve that land.
If you own land that you would like to see remain free from development for your lifetime and for future generations, and if you would like to learn more about the financial benefits involved with a conservation easement, contact the Maryland Environmental Trust or your local land trust.